This is the North Shore of Lake Superior in Minnesota, a region unlike anything else around it. We're here in our little cabin on wheels to get out and explore this beautiful place. Hiking on cliffs, heading down into canyons, and climbing peaks. And before this adventure is over, this place will be transformed before our eyes. This is Tiny Cabin Life. Welcome to Tetagoosh State Park in northern Minnesota. The name is derived from the Ojibwe language and means the place where the water is. And that's certainly fitting, as we're not only on the shores of Lake Superior, but also surrounded by rivers, waterfalls, and smaller backcountry lakes. And while spring is just around the corner, winter definitely seems to be hanging on here.
Cereal, is it yummy?
Yeah.
Can I have some, please?
Hey, good Daddy.
Thank you, sweetie.
Olivia, can mommy have one? Thank you.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I am so happy to be back on the North Shore and to have the entire family along again for this adventure.
We love coming to the North Shore. It's always a treat coming here. And Olivia is ready to get out there and hike the trails.
We're having a little bit of a snack with our coffee here to start the day, and then Olivia and I think are going to hike to the high falls on the Baptism River, then come back and make a proper breakfast.
The route to the falls is right off of our campground here, so we're only a few steps away from hitting the trail.
All right, guys, we are on our way to the high falls. It's only about a half mile to get there, and this is just so convenient, having the trail just right up the road from the cabin. I've got my ice cleats on because with the melting snow and then refreezing, this trail is extremely icy. Here we go, guys. I think we're almost there. Wow, that is beautiful.
The high falls on the Baptism River here drop approximately 60 feet, making it one of the tallest waterfalls in the state of Minnesota. Due to the higher temperatures, the water is flowing, but if we were here only a couple weeks earlier, it might still have been frozen solid.
Now we're only getting like a partial view of the falls right here. I wonder if there's a way to see it from a different angle. I know there is a bridge across, but that might be closed right now. So we'll just have to hike ahead and see what else there is. Oh wow, we're right on top of the falls. Unbelievable. So if you see that ice down there, if that was melted, we'd have an even better view of the falls from right here. But I also love how you can look right up the valley down the Baptism River. It's just absolutely stunning, especially in this morning light. Wow, wow, wow.
Now that we were back at the cabin, it was time to eat a proper breakfast before heading out to do some more exploring.
Okay, open it up. Yay!
Good job.
Good job. All right, hold on. Patience, Olivia.
One more.
Get the cheese out.
Dear Lord, thank you for this food and this time together. Help us to be safe. Amen.
Amen.
Very good. So I've got a new hot sauce. It was actually sent to me by fans of the channel, which is really, really cool. It's called Rescue Dog, and I am loving it. So thank you guys so much. It tastes good on basically everything.
So we're headed out to do a hike on Lake Superior. We're gonna go to Shovel Point, which is supposed to be just beautiful. It's a nice, easy hike, nothing too strenuous, but should give us some great views.
Yeah, baby, let's go!
So there's a lot of steps here to get to the very top, but man, it's gonna be worth it. I mean, already from what we've seen so far, it's gorgeous. So yeah, we're almost there. Wow, we live in a beautiful state, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, Lake Superior is such a gem. I feel like it's just such a special place to come visit if you've never been.
Absolutely. I mean, Lake Superior itself is just so grand and it's like an ocean, but the surrounding landscapes too are just so unique, so different from everything else that you see in this state.
Due to the very steep cliffs here, we decided to move into the forest a little bit to take Olivia out of her backpack. I also decided to tie Ellie up because even though she's pretty aware of her surroundings, I would hate for something to happen to her up here.
I just love how you get everything from this vantage point. You get the grand nature of Lake Superior, you get the rocky coastline, and then also the peaks of the Sawtooth Mountains. It's absolutely stunning.
The cliffs at Shovel Point rise approximately 100 feet above Lake Superior and make a great place to get out and do some rock climbing. In fact, the point was named because of the distinctive shape of the cliffs, which resemble the blade of a shovel.
What have you guys been doing?
Olivia took me on a little walk down in the woods right over here, and that was really fun. This girl is very much like her daddy, that's for sure.
And they don't.
She is fearless and just on the move.
After hiking down from Shovel Point, it was time for Olivia to grab a nap, so I dropped the girls off at the cabin.
Meanwhile, Ellie and I are gonna go on one more hike today, and we're doing so on the back side of the park. It's definitely less traveled during the winter time, and so I'm hoping we'll be able to get some of that solitude that we love.
Now, real quick, before we head up Mount Baldy here, I want to tell you about the new food that we've been feeding Ellie recently, and they're also the sponsor of this week's video.
It's no surprise to hear me say that Ellie is the real star of this channel. One of the things that you'll notice with Ellie is despite her getting up there in age, she's 9 years old now, she still moves around like a puppy. And a lot of that has to do with the food that we feed her. And so recently, we wanted to try out a raw diet for her just to see how she would like it. And so that's why we went with Maev. Maev is the first and only human-grade, protein-rich food for dogs that's made with real ingredients that you can see and name just by looking. There are no fillers, no additives, and it requires zero prep and therefore no mess. Every bowl of Maev includes human-grade lean protein, vitamin-rich organ meat, and fresh produce and personalized supplements. As you can see, she absolutely loves it. She just gobbles it down, but the real impact that I've seen is out on the trail. Ellie has so much energy when we're out on the trail, but she's also very attentive and alert. And the benefits are just going to continue as she gets older, where many dogs start to have hip and joint problems. She's not only loving the food, but also the treats. They're human grade and freeze dried, and Ellie just devours them. Ellie is a treasured member of this family, and we're always looking for ways to make her life even better. And so I want to thank Maev and the Raw Diet here for helping us do that.
And so if you want to try Maev for your best friend, all you have to do is scan the QR code here and use my code TinyCabinLife to receive 20% off your first order. And with that, let's get back to the adventure.
All right, so we are on the trail. We're making our way towards Mount Baldy, which is up this service road and then off a spur trail. In total, it's like 1.4 miles to the peak. This is also the route up to Tedagooch Camp, which used to be a lodge for wealthy members of a club here in the area. But now they have a bunch of restored cabins there, and it's a really cool place to be able to hike in and stay. Unfortunately for me, they don't allow dogs, so I don't know if I'll ever get there. This must be our spur trail. Yes, indeed.
The incline of the trail increased more and more as we started to make our way closer to the peak. And then the final stretch up to the summit began to feel a little bit more like a scramble than a hike, which I wasn't expecting and was pretty cool. Finally, we topped out.
We made it.
The summit of Mount Baldy feels like the top of the world out here. And multiple lakes can be seen from the peak. Most notably is the beautiful Nakado Lake directly below the summit. But also off in the distance is Tedagooch, Micmac, and Nipissicwick Lake, which I actually snowmobiled to only about a month ago. And so this right here is another reason why I love the North Shore. The ability to get out and climb peaks in the state of Minnesota is not something that I take for granted.
this right here is why you go off the beaten path. We've got just the most incredible views up here, and I'm pretty sure we've got this entire mountain and valley to ourselves right now.
After the hike, we made our way back to the cabin, and I got set up for a little campfire.
Well, I gotta say, this feels pretty good, especially after hiking 5.5 miles. That's how much I did today. It's pretty good, especially for winter time. And it's really nice that the whole family can join me out here. It's like 23 degrees Fahrenheit, so cold, but doable.
Well, you guys, tonight we are having, you guessed it, burritos. This was all Jack's idea, of course.
Now, to be fair, when we were packing for this trip, I noticed we had ground beef and we had all the other fixings for burritos. We didn't have any other food. So instead of going out and buying new stuff, I thought, let's use what we got. So burritos it is.
Dear Lord Jesus, thank you for this dinner. Thank you for keeping us safe and continue to keep us safe on this trip.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Oh yeah, baby. Solid burrito. Tried and true.
Papa's so good.
Very, very good. Perfect after a long day of hiking.
Overnight, the temperature dropped even more, and it began to snow. And with it, it covered up that little hint of spring that we got a taste of yesterday.
Good morning, everybody. I am so happy to see that we have some snow coming down outside. Everything always just looks better with a fresh coat of snow, and it's absolutely beautiful out there.
What did the cup?
Now, even though it's a little chillier outside today, we're nice and toasty in here. We got a good fire roaring in the stove, and we got good coffee as well, so life is good.
Now, we are leaving this morning, but before we pack out of here, I wanted to go check out the Two-Step Falls, which is the set of falls right below the high falls that we visited yesterday.
Well, it's 200 icy steps down to the falls, and that's why I decided to leave Ellie and the girls back at the cabin. It's a little sketchy, but with my ice cleats, I'm actually doing okay here. This is amazing. You can see why it's called Two-Step Falls as well. You've got the first drop over there. Second drop is right here. Wow, look at that ice formation. These form in a number of different ways, either through just a freezing waterfall, or a lot of times the rocks here will actually ooze water, and then that freezes into these types of formations. They're extremely beautiful, but they're also a lot of fun to climb. In fact, I actually got to do some ice climbing around Lake Superior at Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore on the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and it was a blast. Definitely challenging, but a lot of fun too. And then just up around the bend here, we've got the top step of Two-Step Falls, and it is very, very beautiful. I don't know if there's a better place to wrap up this adventure, so we're going to do so right here at the falls. Thank you guys so much for coming along. The North Shore region here is a gem in Minnesota. It is so rugged, so grand, and so beautiful, and every time we come here, it's a memorable experience. I want to thank all of you for watching, but give a special shout out to our patrons who generously donate to this channel. Thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. Now, I'm really excited to let you know that the next 3 videos are going to be a part of a road trip that I'm taking with Ellie out to Montana. We're going to be staying in a fire lookout and 2 backcountry cabins, and it is going to be epic. So make sure you stay tuned for those videos because they're going to be really, really great. But for now, I better get back up to the cabin so we can pack up and get out of here. I'll see you guys next week. God bless.